Trial time. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. Mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. No, it's Mia. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Oh, more beepings. A lot of beeping going around. It's him. Oh, this is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! And we gotta win it like in one day? You know, usually the cases take 3 days. He wants us to beat it in 1 day? I don't know if that's possible. The kidnapper sent me a present. Surprise! It's Christmas, I was gonna say, well, I don't know why I said Christmas cake. I was thinking like birthday cake, not Christmas cake. It's not Christmas. Anyway. Mr. Lawyer dude, who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Pinocchio? Who's the prosecutor? Isn't it Von Karma? Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh. Hello? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma's... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Oh, is that... Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. You know, just murder the prosecution. That's how you win, right? His present. Ms. Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. Well, this is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. You know, I was wondering, who replaces her? Well, there's one person that came back just recently. That's good. You're... I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready. Naturally. Is this a downgrade or an upgrade for the prosecution? I don't know. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. You know, is that coincidence? Avant Karma getting shot in the shoulder? Anyway. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Onguard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down in the precinct, for now. For now? After this trial is over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Well, I guess Gumshoe's getting fired. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If you want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Well, get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, I would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. You see, he found a new theme song. This is what he found. This murder happened after a Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Correda, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case has nothing to do with the murder. Nothing to do with the murder, eh? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yeah, me thinks the detective... I think the detective does protestes too much. You know, isn't that always the case? You know, it's a very specific denial, right? The fact that there's nothing suspicious about the empty guitar case, by the way. Well, first of all, let's like press all the statements. Let's see. Let's see though. I don't know. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and there was a short break. Okay, 6 around 8. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 3-minute break period. Please continue with testimony, detective. Victim was found dead. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? Oh, she's the defendant, Matt Onguard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the pro-ceremony show was about to start... she went to get Mr. Onguard. After visiting his room, she went to the next victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. That's when she found the victim's body. Looking at the cause, we definitely believe he's definitely murdered. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Correda was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brilliant as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana. Oh, really? Bandana? Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Okay. Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought he just got stabbed, but I guess he was strangled first? He was strangled first? 8:15. And why do you think the guitar case was suspicious? Because it was empty, pal. The jamming ninja doesn't go anywhere with his bright red guitar, and we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. Okay. There's some water, bears Carter's fingerprints. Has nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar case was in the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found in the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty before he even got in the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt on guard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other person was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the jam in Ninja's bun. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. So it looks like a golden knife. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Okay, yeah, it's a golden knife. Or maybe just a yellow knife. You know, it's not like literally golden. There's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Covered in Corrida's blood. Found in On Guard's hakama. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. It's the old duel. Phoenix and Edgeworth. But in terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Corrida was always one step behind Mr. On Guard and everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective? It's not, well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Okay. Now, detective, let's continue your testimony. No, not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. About what I was saying. Hello, anyone? Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jamming Ninja's costume. But can't you tell that just by looking at it? Yeah, the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgewood, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by a thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. Ah. That's Edgewood for you. Never misses a beat. Hakama. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what was he trying to say about me here? I was investigating, buddy. All of the knife. How were the fingerprints arranged on that knife? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. Okay, I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless, were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife then? The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this premeditated. There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if you bought the knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was premeditated murder, we're done for. Yes, how you say premeditated? Premeditated? Anyway, yes. There's something very interesting about what the detective just said now. Think carefully, before it's too late. Button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with on-guard's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in the world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? Bought the knife. Bought the knife for the crime. Well, it says right here, it says Gatewater. I remember actually this knife is the same knife that's on the plates where the people eat the T-bone steaks. So, I guess what Gumshoe is saying, he bought the knife for the crime, as in, like, he bought it outside, right? He bought it, like, from, I don't know, a knife store. But actually, this knife is within the hotel, you know? It's something they just had in the hotel, so he didn't get it, you know? From somewhere else, he got it within the hotel, assumedly, right? At least the killer, anyway. In this situation, so I think that's a contradiction right here. Wait just a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated, I guess I keep saying meditated? Premeditated, is that how you pronounce it? Premeditated. Anyway, so the basis of the argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name before. Well, that's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Premeditated. I keep saying, I guess, yeah, I said premeditated before? I don't know. Premeditated. Yes, that's very true. This is very big. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There's no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know. Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corder's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. Well, I guess we just get a little like, picture, you know? In the courtroom. There's a knife and fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. It came from here, especially what was on top of this table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. Mr. On guard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walk headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? Not yet shown? Not yet shown? What? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well... Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, the gavel of his will be ringing out the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? I mean, we have no choice. I mean, Edgeworth is hinting at something we need to present. What are we trying to prove, though? Let's see. There's one. Something about the knife, maybe? One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. So, we've seen the ninja button. We've seen the knife. We've seen the photo. They've shown the actual, you know... Well, not this, but the... Where is it? It's, yeah, this one. The actual, you know, victim being stabbed, I guess. Technically. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Nani? You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? I was thinking of saving there, but you can't now. I have... Hey, look at this wine glass. I mean, we didn't show this yet. No one mentioned this. They mentioned the guitar case. They mentioned, you know, the knife, ninja button, autopsy report. No one mentioned this wine glass yet. I think. I hope. I mean, this is quite a big penalty. If I get this wrong, I just instantly lose, I guess. That would suck. Hey, Judge, would you like some tomato juice? This is a wine glass, is it not? Well, please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. Yeah, it's a strange thing. Oh, Pearl mentioned this, right? The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well yes, I see your point. However, this glass that's sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do y'all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. Haha. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? Nani? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? I mean, if we agree with the prosecution, then it's game over, right? So, I mean, we have to disagree. It has to be something strange. There's no way! Why would she put it there specifically anyway? That's weird. No. If I appear weak here, the trial's over. I can look for my proof later. Yeah, bluff time! For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it, if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup down on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way, Yasni. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Again? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course, it has been thoroughly expected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? Well, I guess it does belong to Adrian. That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corda. Gasp! And then she put the glass there, I guess. but upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see, Wright? Why did all the Von Karmas do this? I guess technically Edgeworth is not a Von Karma, but like, he's a student, I guess. All of them go, tisk, tisk, tisk. You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. Arr. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I've come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness who would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Yeah. Now, normally, all our prosecutors, we always try to fight these prosecutors. They always want to end the trial early, but not Edgeworth. He wants to extend it. But then again, I think Francisco also did that a few times as well. I don't know. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Though I guess maybe Francisco did it for different reasons, though. I think Edgeworth wants to be, like, super sure this time, right? He doesn't want the trial to end early. Ah! Laser gun! Pew 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 pew! Ah! Nope. Gotcha! I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Oh, Edgy boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? We should be more happy to see me, or you should be more happy to see me. I saw the report of our testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was that wicked witch of the witness stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things I don't have to do with the terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy right now. Don't interrupt us, Cramps. Yes, madam. No, please, by all means, interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are all hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy with that Angar, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me, I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida. But those two were the same age? Hello? Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed during the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Okay. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, man on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. Okay. So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show, but I refused to help. I have you know it was for that little lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails. Well, maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that magic of the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me, so I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Something you were interested in finding out. Just what was that? It's not something little thing I could just go around telling everyone, you know? It's top secret between me and Juan. Oh, and Edgy of course. Mr. Edra, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we should enforce it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Oh, then what would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Cordo's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I keep keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. Yeah, isn't her age like question mark, question mark? She literally, no one really knows. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Shut up, it was a man coming out of Poor Han's room. Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, it was... He was... Yes, he was... I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, I wouldn't give to have Francisco's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was on guard, mad on guard. You saw my client, are you sure about that? Yes, see. Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. How do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Well, didn't last time, you know, she said she saw Will Powers, but actually it was just someone in a costume? You know? Well, please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes, his effeminate lips, his right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shiny teeth. His teeth were shining. Shiny teeth and me. Well, he's shining all around this week's pinup poster, dearie. This week's pinup. Why do you... I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. What? Longard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just not important or relevant in any way? What was the questions? Like, what he was holding, his costume, what his costume looked like, and what his face looked like, I don't know. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Okay, well... Let me just press this again. I want to explore the other options. Let's see. What's the person carrying? What was the man you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or left? Now this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left hand? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. I don't know, if he was carrying something? Should he be carrying something? I'm not sure. I was thinking like the first thing that comes to mind is the guitar, but I mean, we've learned that the guitar hasn't been in the hotel in the first place, right? So, I don't know. Saw my client. Well, please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that really matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. Oh, okay, so he wasn't in costume. He was wearing that at the detention center too. I was thinking, you know, maybe she mistaken someone wearing a costume again, but I guess not? That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? You know, actually, I think it is important. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Well, don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he's wearing it. She is sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. Well, isn't that interesting? He came out of the room wearing a jacket. However, you know, this button, the thing that even incriminates Matt on guard in the first place, was that it was found in his costume, right? Assuming, you know, somehow the button fell into his costume, he'd be coming out of the room with his old, like, get-up, right? You'd think. But instead he came out with a racing jacket? That makes no sense. I think this is a contradiction. Because if he wasn't wearing his hakama, and instead wearing just like a racing jacket, then we wouldn't find this button in his, like, you know, in his person in the first place. I think. Hopefully I'm right. This is my theory. That's my theory anyway. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? It's a button number 2 on the Gemini Ninja's costume. She knows. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punch you with this. Pew 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 pew. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. Well, this button was discovered on Mr. Onguard's body during a full-body search. See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal on guard. It was caught up in the pleats of his Nico Samurai Hakama pants. See? And on guard's the Nico Samurai! Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If you wore the trendiest shirt, then maybe you think I'm the most gorgeous woman ever, but I have to put off this weird looking outfit. You agree with that? Always hideous, right? I've got a tape recorder stuck in my chest, let me tell you. It's heavy, so heavy. What you gonna switch these years? But the was that good your life with it because they were having my face. Don't you understand? Now take a look in the mirror and you're closer about as interesting as a documentary on currently. You should have taken a tip from the edgy, but now he's got style. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. You know, I was wondering, why is she wearing that costume? Maybe she had to wear it because she had to do the post show or something? Maybe that's why. Anyway. Now, hold your tongue still there for just 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Onguard the man, but Mr. Onguard the Nico Samurai? Oh, when you think about it. Okay, maybe she did, like, again. She did the thing again. They're really one thing in this one in the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Boo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to the post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Okay. I knew it. I knew you say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, youngest today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. And Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Would you please get on with your testimony? What's your language, young man? What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what I used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on bugging me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing on the seas, a Nickel Samurai! La, la, la. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Ezra, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you be a good and stick to just the facts. Okay! You promise, right? Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Okay. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Ezra, old chum. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please! Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago? Then let me ask you this, when you were itty bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What do you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be a Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court, so what? See? And look at you now, where are you now? You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Well, what I said earlier, who puts any weight into things like that? And now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when the court become theatres over testimonies? All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough? Would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. And why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child, you know that. You disagree with everything I say. Is that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Had to go to the post-ceremony show. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. That included the Gem-Man Ninja. Of course, it included him. That's why when a guard came out of dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. Must have been more than Nickel Samurai costume or stabbing poor Juan. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is, what that contradiction means for us. Well, I'll have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. It's easy, lol. That's what Mia's saying. Nickel Samurai. I think I get it. You see, well, for one, there's fingerprints an on-guard's supposed murder weapon, and yet if he was wearing a costume, then there wouldn't be any fingerprints in the first place, right? Because look at his little claw hand, his gloved hand. If he was using a knife or anything, then fingerprints wouldn't be on it in the first place, I think. Now the question is, what do I present though? Do I present the actual image or the knife? I think the knife, because it, includes like fingerprints, right? On-guard's fingerprints. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife, big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important in this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? Whose car are we driving? If Mr. On-Guard was really in the Nico Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right. The Nico Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nico Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard about that. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? When he went to the victim's room, he had no intention of murdering him. Okay, any other time though. So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Yeah, there is. There is a contradiction when you think about it. This theory contradicts something in the earlier testimony. What are you babbling about now? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On-Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Because why would he bring this knife to his room in the first place? This knife, this was used by Mr. On-Guard at dinner. Dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At the time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. Take that! And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order, I say, order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? to frame him. I mean, that's what we've been told, right? By Mr. Kidnapper, the killer. Someone's trying to frame Matt. It's to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume, and if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Ugh. Witness? Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, Jipu? Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with Nickel Samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. He wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting for around for then? That's top secret, anyone outside of security? I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Honkoida, am I right, witness? The way you think, you're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Oldbag was waiting around in front of the victim's room, but it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corida. Or maybe, Phoenix, maybe the Oldbag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldbag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Well, who do we know is implicated in rendezvousing, you know, having rendezvous with, or having a rendezvous, I guess? Having a rendezvous with the victim? According to this article, it's Miss AA. And who's that? It's Adrian Andrews. I mean, you know, it doesn't really... I guess, I don't know if it's actually... They're actually having a rendezvous, usually, but, I mean, that's what, Oldbag believes, so it must be her. Who is this person? Oh, this is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. This is... I see. The judge seems to be really into that article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager, the initials AA, are you saying it's... Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Confidentiality? Witness, what in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is gonna take the wind out of you youngins. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Doing the Oldbag voice hurts my throat, by the way. But I gotta do it. I don't know, I don't know if it sounds exactly like it, but I'm trying to do like a old lady stereotypical smoker voice, even though I don't know if Oldbag smokes a lot, That's just the voice I imagine her having when I first saw her, so I don't know, I'm just sticking with it. That Ongar is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin Port Huan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get him close to Han. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know you, okay? Is it perfect, Bencho? I don't know. It definitely shreds my vocal cords, however. Defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying? The truth is never pleasant. Never heard that one before. Well, I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's not literally shredding my cords. But, you know, let's just say I hope we don't, you know, get any more dialogue of old bag after this trial, if possible. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter, and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right. Onguard's nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, if you gotta burn old bags with fire... Wait, is that an old saying? Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Danger zone? Down the highway to the danger zone. Is that how it goes? I don't know. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with poor Yuan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager of the Stars, Miss A.A. But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossipland. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Does she believe in fake news? Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? Why don't I do anything like that? Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touche. Yeah, she has, but I mean, you, in general, you gotta like, use your own critical thinking and understand, you know, where the facts are coming from. You gotta get your news sauce. Where does it come from? Where does the sauce come from? And do your own, you know, investigating. Anyway, a scandal. What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. So to do that, he says on manager. You don't have any proof that Mr. On Guard did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock. The shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right, I can't do anything, but boy do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? No ill will at all? I mean, in general they had a rivalry, right? But... And On Guard, a man On Guard always came out on top, but that still doesn't change the fact that they, I guess, you know, kinda didn't, you know, probably didn't like each other a lot, I guess. Let's see. Well, for now, let's decline. I don't have anything to offer. See, just as I thought. Yeah, you were lecturing me about saying things about proof. You're just giving me the free pass to say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles, for you anyway. Condones the dirty tricks, so I took action. So what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I wasn't lying way close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need. You were going to teach her a good lesson. I was gonna make her eat the damaging beans in my ray gun! Do-do-do-do-do. No, stop! Well, it was too bad that the woman didn't come through the door that night. No, just... Why is the ray gun? Why does she have a ray... Anyway. Too bad she didn't come through the door that night. Okay. And this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me. Okay. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill a hole in my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did that old bag get such a secret piece of information? I mean, we did say that... Well, I don't know. I mean, her basis of staking out that place was from this, right? We already said that. However, how did she know that Adrian Andrews was going into, I guess, the victim's room in the first place? We don't know that, do we? Well, if you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today. Hey, Jipu, what are you doing? Help me! What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me, and you'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. She's just crazy. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Obek get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. It sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. Ill will... I don't know. Nobody else knows it. Wasn't there another person who was hanging out in the hallway this whole time? You don't have, like, proof about that, though. Stolen on the night of the murder. A tablet article about the victim was in the case. Lada's camera? Maybe? I mean, I think that's the answer. That's where she got the inside information. It's from Lada, right? I mean, she was hanging around there as well. On the night of the murder. And she's saying it's, you know, doesn't... wait and see? Now, before we present, what happens if we wait and see? I should probably think a bit more about this. I don't do anything rash. For now, maybe I should sit back and watch how things play out. Okay, that's just nothing. That's just nothing! By the way, you can hold the button to skip all dialogue super fast. I didn't know you could do that. Anyway. Yeah, my best guess is maybe we show her the camera? And then we can get her to talk? Right? Because she got it from Lada. Probably. It's my best guess. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Obag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that! Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? Oh, actually, I can't remember. Did she get it from... Did we already establish you got it from the magazine clipping, or... Actually, I'm a little bit confused. Because I remember the judge reading it, right? So, I mean, yeah, again, this is just the general information. It's not like, specifically, they were gonna meet up, right? I think? I'm a little confused, actually. I'm a little bit confused. I think it's Lada. The seedy world of tabloids. That makes sense, right? She was investigating like something for a tabloid, and maybe Old Beg heard about it from her. Maybe? Let's see. You call that proof? Okay, I got it wrong. Darn it! Darn it! I got damaged. Gossip, gossip, gossip. Causing a huge scandal. Like, why did she hear about that in the first place? Where did she hear that that the man on guard was sending Adrian Andrews, you know, to Han to create a scandal in the first place? You know, we can press this. There's also the other press. Another point we can press is, you know, to prove whether or not Matt has ill will towards Juan, but I don't think we have proof about that, though. Maybe the camera? Oh yeah, I remember Lada mentioned that note, right? A note that came with the camera that had all the information about the tabloid in the first place, you know, about finding proof and everything. Well, maybe Old Beck took this camera? The investigative photographer Lotta Hart. Okay, so that was close the first time. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous, impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it. That's the note. Ah. Wow. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you were the one who took Miss Hart's note? I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. He's working with that evil on guard, she says so herself. On guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Chipu, you believe in me, don't you? Nah. I was only trying to help him like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come up with a supply of cheese to match up your vintage wine. That's quite a pun. Well, it's only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once. It looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No! This is an expensive camera! If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow with the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. I mean, yeah, the camera itself, right? I mean, we already presented it technically. But there's nothing else that she could have stolen, right? Because it came with the camera, as far as I know. Unless she stole a person! No, well, Maya got stolen. I don't think she's the kidnapper, though. Camera. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Or 1,600, I guess I could say 1,600, a $1,600 camera. Anyway, why, witness? What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera, too. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? Ah, that's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? I still eat meals like you, I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little bit off. I saw that woman's business card, and so I noticed it said Slime Bag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know that what sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. We must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. Okay. Well, there's one photo right there. It's somebody in a Nickel Samurai costume leaving the room. Nickel Samurai. Nickel Samurai. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. On-Guard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will now will consider them before we close. Do you agree this photo is decisive evidence against your client? No. Well, if this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow, then I will put my life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotto took, there's... okay, there has to be something strange. Otherwise, you know, Phoenix wouldn't put it out. Oh, for one, he's missing an arm. So maybe they're just like, you know, just putting it behind them. What room is this? Actually, I remember. This is the... what was it? The victim's room, because there's a bunch of flowers and everything and teddy bears. So it is like there's someone leaving the room, I guess. Can I say he's missing an arm? I don't know. I don't think it's correct though. Nickel Samurai. Nickel Samurai. Nickel Samurai. Well, I think I have an idea. I mean, who's I mean, who was in the room? Who's in the room? Like, who really went inside that room, right? I know, I might be wrong though. Let's see. There's something strange with this photo. I think I have an idea, but I don't know if I'm right. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even the bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Again? I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? Am I gonna lose? I think I'm gonna lose. I think this is strange because we don't see his feet. So this person is like just like last time. Remember, I thought like the Steel Samurai for some reason was like what was it? Hobbling, I guess, you know, on one knee or whatever. I was thinking like, I don't know, someone else is wearing the costume with like shorter or whatever. But maybe this is the same case where somebody else is wearing it and it doesn't fit them really. So that's why the hakama is like all the way on the ground where it's not supposed to be. Because normally we do see feet in the actual photo, in the actual Nickel Samurai photo. I might be completely wrong though. It might be something else I'm supposed to point out. It's like the muffler again. So like I'm not entirely sure, you know, what I'm supposed to point out. And sometimes I make these theories that don't make sense. I might be completely off the mark actually. But I think it's the fact that, you know, it's the hakama is too long for the person, right? That wouldn't make sense unless somebody else is wearing the costume. I only have one chance at this again. I don't save. I didn't save. Maybe I should save more often. I don't save a lot. Let's hope for the best. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that'd be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. Da-na-na-na. What's the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. Hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I could only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt on guard, then everything the prosecution is trying to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. Nani! Again! Right. I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. It's super easy. It's so obvious. I'm not gonna tell you the answer though. What you should be focused is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? Look at this photograph. It's Pearl. She's short. No, anyone who's like super short, I guess, compared to Matt on guard. Well, I mean, we don't have like heights, you know, height, weight, height and weight thing. I mean, who can be a suspect? It's not Maya. She's kidnapped. It's not Pearl. She's right here with us, you know, and like unconsciously, I guess. Not Dick Gumshoe. It's not Von Karma. It's not Edgeworth. Not Will Powers, he's pretty tall actually, so it can't be him. Lot of heart? I mean, she doesn't seem like a murderer. She doesn't have motive, really. And, does she have an alibi? I mean, she was hanging around trying to find her camera, right? In the hallway? I don't know. Maybe for Lotta. Then again, I mean, again, she doesn't look like a murderer. Victim dead. Matt is defended. I mean, we're trying to say he's not the killer. Obek? I mean, possibly. I don't know if she's. Again, I don't know if she's shorter though. Again, Lotta, Obek. I actually don't know if she's shorter than Matt. I just assume that maybe. Then again, who took the picture in the first place? I assume Lotta, right? I mean, who took? Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know who took the picture. Like, was Lotta and Obeg together? I guess not. Obeg didn't like Lotta in the first place, right? And Lotta, I think, took this picture because it was her camera. I don't think Obeg said anything about using the camera. So in a way, that's an alibi for Lotta Hart. But does Obeg have an alibi? I guess not. I don't know. I actually don't know. I mean, this Adrian. Didn't we, like, establish motive to kill that one time, the Cyclops? I mean, that's kind of meta when you think about it, but, like, I mean, the fact that she has a motive, and I guess she's always been described as small, that might be a big hint, actually, when you think about it. Celeste is dead. So it's either Adrian or Obeg again. Did we accuse Obeg before, that one time? It could work again, maybe. But does she have a... Can't try to remember. Does she have an alibi? She has no motive, though. She really loves... I mean, yeah, I guess... I mean, unless she's yandere, I guess. But she did say in her testimony she really loves the victim. So it's not possible that she would kill the victim if she loves him so much. Then again, you know about stalkers. You know about stalkers and celebrities. How stalkers really love the celebrity and then they end up killing them. Because it's an obsession rather than a healthy relationship. Anyway, I think it's Adrian. That makes sense. She's described as small stature and she has motive to kill, as we found out. And I guess the rumor about her visiting the room in the first place is actually true in this case. Maybe. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nico Samurai is, it is none other than this woman. And why would you say must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? Well, for starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Ungar's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ungar that night. And now does that all add up? Oh yeah, when you think about it, yeah, it makes sense, because... And who got this knife in the first place? Probably someone who went into Ungar's room. It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Ungar's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, Wright? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to defame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kinda bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day? Oh! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya! Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Yeah. Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. Ironically, you know, that's kind of funny. You know, usually in the other cases, we're always trying to extend the trial as long as possible, but our hands are forced into ending the trial early instead. I can't do that, right? We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she's... I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. What do you mean by that? That Mr. Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing I can't say the word. Subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? All according to Kekaku. Kekaku means plan. What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She's the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by this man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, judge. Well, it tends to be like, actually in real life, judges probably do want to end the case early because they probably have like multiple cases throughout the day, you know? You want to get through them as much as possible. Otherwise, you just have like a big lineup of people doing trials all day. But anyway, very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. I will go grab some lunch. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Hooray. Alright. So it isn't over yet. Well, I wonder, do we have to get a verdict in this case without any more investigations? We really have to do it all in one day? I don't know. I guess we'll see.